So I'm out there this morning zeroing my rifle. Now, I've literally just put this scope on. It's the Arkin SH4. And the plan is I'm going to shoot it this weekend for the PRS match. Now, the first thing we need to do before we can actually get on and shoot the rifle and do some zeroing is to make sure the scope's level. So I've already got my hand on the rifle, I've put the scope on the mounts, and I've made sure that my eye relief is correct. The next thing we need to do is check the scope and the reticle inside there is actually level. And the reason we don't do this because if your scope isn't level, say if I cant this scope off to the right, I'd be adjusting them up and to the right, which would end up adding on deflection that I didn't necessarily want. So it's always, you should always ensure your scope is level. Now I use the L-Tech reticle living tool. It's only about 20 quid from Optics Warehouse. Comes in a nice little metal box. Comes in a nice little metal box like so. And then if you open it up, you can see you've got two sets of levels here. And one of them is for actually leveling your scope and the other one is for leveling your rifle. So the first thing we need to do is we get the actual rifle leveler out. So you'll see there's two sets of screws here and there's sort of a half moon shape here. If you undo one side, it just opens up on a little bracket like that. You can see it's closed on one end and it's open on the other. Now what we do with this is we put this over the barrel, and this is for ensuring that your rifle stays level when you level your scope. So first we have to put it over the barrel. Now if you've got a fairly normal sized barrel, then you don't have to take the screw off. You can just open the gate, slide it on, close the gate and then do it up and you'll be fine. Obviously mine's a PRS competition barrel, so it's pretty heavy profile, so I actually have to take the gate off to get it over. Just put it over like so, then you just do them up. Now it doesn't actually matter about the two top screws for now, I'll explain them in a minute. So what you need to do now is you take the second level and you need to find somewhere on your rifle that's nice and flat. Now there's a couple of places you can put it on. You can put it on a rail, you can put it on furniture if the furniture is nice and flat on the chassis. What I like to do is just sort of make a note of where my scope was, so I can actually see some slight markings there where I've had the scope mount on, and I like to put them on the scope mount like so. Now, as you can see, I'll now level off my rifle. I'll lock off my bipod. So the Accutoc bipod is really handy for this because all you have to do is pull that lever and it will lock it off and it's not going anywhere. And then now twist that round or use these little screws on the top here to level the bubble on the barrel. I can then replace my scope again, making sure it goes back to where it was. Just get behind your rifle to double check. Next, we're going to take that same bubble we had earlier and then we're going to just drop it on top of the turret like so. And then all we have to do is twist the scope in the mount until the bubbles match up. Obviously you want it to be as perfect as possible. And once you've done that, you take the top of your turrets again, make sure the Arkin symbol's facing forwards because my OCD won't let me do anything else. And then just slightly tighten, just finger tight, don't apply any torque just yet, that'll come later. Do them up hand tight, make sure the scope's level. The wind's pushing it around a little bit, it's not the best day for it, but yeah, that is level. And then next, take your torque wrench and then you're going to torque up your scope rings. Now with the Arkin scope rings, they're really handy because they've literally got written on top of it what the torque settings are. So it's 18 inch pounds on top, so I'm just going to torque up to 18 inch There we go. And now we can get behind our rifle. We can do what we came here to do and get this rifle zeroed ready for the weekend. Confident in knowing that when we do apply elevation, it is actually going to go up and not slightly up to the right as well.